An ordinary Monday turns deadly. It began like any other Monday night. April 1st, 2024. 19-year-old Sade Carleena Robinson was excited for something simple, a first date with a man she barely knew. Sade was vibrant and ambitious, a criminal justice student with plans to build a career helping others. That evening, she put on a cute outfit, grabbed her keys, and drove into Milwaukee. Her destination: a night out with Maxwell Anderson, a 34-year-old man she'd recently met through a dating app. At first, everything seemed normal. The pair visited Twisted Fisherman and Duke's on Water, two lively spots in the city. Security cameras captured them smiling, laughing, sharing drinks. To anyone watching, it looked like an ordinary first date. Around 9:24 p.m., surveillance video recorded Sade's car pulling into Anderson's driveway. That image, her car easing into the darkness, was the last time anyone saw her alive. The next morning, worry began to spread. Calls went unanswered. Text messages stayed unread. Sade's phone, usually active, went silent. By afternoon, the unease turned to terror. Her car was found burned and abandoned. Hours later came a discovery almost too horrific to believe. A severed human leg washed up along the shore at Warnemont Park. DNA testing confirmed the nightmare. The leg belonged to Sade Robinson, and the investigation that followed would reveal a crime so brutal, so calculated, it shocked even seasoned detectives. Who was Sade Robinson? Before she became a headline, Sade Robinson was a daughter, a sister, a loyal friend. Born May 10, 2004, she grew up in Milwaukee as a bright, determined young woman with big dreams. At Milwaukee Area Technical College, she studied criminal justice. She wanted to work in law enforcement or victim advocacy, to be someone who made communities safer. Her mother, Sheena Scarborough, calls her "my baby girl," my heart. Friends remember her as the kind of person who could light up a room with a smile. Sade balanced school with part-time jobs, stayed close to her family, and, like many college students, used dating apps to meet new people. That's how she met Maxwell Anderson. Anderson was 34, living quietly in Milwaukee. At first, little was known about his past. But later, a chilling revelation surfaced. A confidential informant claimed that weeks before Sade's murder, Anderson talked about wanting to kill a woman and make her disappear. On April the 1st, Sade thought she was meeting someone for dinner. Instead, she was walking into the hands of a predator. The crime, a timeline of terror. 2 p.m. Sade meets Anderson. They enjoy dinner and drinks at Twisted Fisherman and Duke's on Water. Security footage shows them laughing and clinking glasses. 4:24 p.m. The couple arrives at Anderson's house. Cameras capture them pulling into his driveway. It's the last confirmed sighting of Sade alive. Later that night, a neighbor hears odd noises and sees flickering lights coming from Anderson's garage. No one calls police. April 2nd. Early morning GPS data shows Sade's phone traveling through multiple Milwaukee County locations, Pleasant Valley Park, Warnemont Park, before going dark. That afternoon, firefighters are called to an abandoned car engulfed in flames. The vehicle is traced to Sade Ikusiru Hikaku p.m. A severed leg is discovered along the Lake Michigan shoreline at Warnemont Park. It is later identified as Sade's. April 3, 2018. Over the next 2 weeks, police recover additional body parts: an arm, a torso, dumped in parks, hidden near dumpsters, and even found across state lines in Waukegan, Illinois. Her head and other remains are never located. For investigators, it is clear this was a homicide marked by extreme violence and a deliberate attempt to destroy evidence. On April 4th, Milwaukee police arrest Maxwell Anderson. The investigation. a digital trail of horror. The case against Anderson came together with chilling speed. Detectives tracked Sade's movements using cell phone data, which mapped her journey from the restaurants to Anderson's home, and then, after the time of her death, across Milwaukee County in the middle of the night. Surveillance cameras recorded Anderson's vehicle leaving his home multiple times, each trip aligning with the locations where Sade's remains were later found. Receipts and video footage showed him purchasing cleaning supplies and traveling to remote dumping sites. A search of Anderson's property sealed the narrative. Investigators discovered blood evidence in his garage and on tools. DNA confirmed it belonged to Sade. Cleaning agents were scattered nearby. Neighbors reported seeing Anderson dragging heavy bags outside. A large freezer had recently been removed from the house. The confidential informant's statement that Anderson spoke of killing a woman a month earlier added a chilling layer of premeditation. By April the 12th, prosecutors filed formal charges. First-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse. Arson. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Anderson pleaded not guilty. He offered no confession, no explanation, and showed no remorse. The trial. Milwaukee watches. More than a year later, on May 27, 2025, the trial of Maxwell Anderson began. The courtroom was tense. Journalists, community activists, and Sade's grieving family packed the benches. Across the aisle, Anderson sat in a crisp suit beside his attorneys, expressionless. Prosecutors wasted no time. This was not a crime of passion, they told jurors. This was calculated, deliberate murder. They laid out a mountain of evidence. Surveillance video showing Sade's final hours. GPS data tracing Anderson's late-night movements. DNA linking Sade to blood found in the garage. Testimony from forensic experts who described the use of cleaning agents and the deliberate burning of Sade's car. Jurors watched footage of Sade and Anderson laughing at dinner, then driving to his home. The screen went black, and the silence in the courtroom spoke volumes. The most haunting testimony came from the confidential informant, who told the jury Anderson had spoken of making a woman disappear weeks before the murder. The defense pushed back, arguing the case was circumstantial. They pointed to the absence of a clear motive and questioned the credibility of the informant. But each day, the evidence grew heavier. When Sade's mother took the stand, she looked directly at the man accused of destroying her family. "He didn't just take her life," she said, her voice steady. "He took our future." Aftermath. Grief, justice, and a movement. The trial brought some answers, but many wounds remain open. Anderson never explained why he killed Sade. He has given no statement of remorse. Key remains, including her head, have never been recovered. For Sade's family, the lack of closure is its own punishment. "We can't even bury her whole," her mother said. "We don't have that peace." Yet out of tragedy came action. Community groups rallied in Sade's name, demanding justice for Black and brown women whose cases too often go unnoticed. Her mother launched the Sade's Voice Foundation, dedicated to supporting families of missing or murdered women of color and pushing for stronger protections. Milwaukee Area Technical College created a scholarship in Sade's memory, helping other young women pursue careers in criminal justice, the very future Sade had envisioned. Across social media, hashtags like Recruit Justice for Sade and Say. Her name spread her story far beyond Milwaukee, ensuring it would not fade from public memory. Maxwell Anderson now faces life in prison. No sentence, however long, can undo the loss or answer the haunting question of motive. Her voice will not be silenced. Robinson was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a dreamer, and a force of light whose life was stolen in a single night of unimaginable violence. Her story is a warning about the dangers women face, a call for vigilance, and a demand for change. Through the foundation, the scholarship, and the voices of those who loved her, Sade's name lives on, and as long as people speak